This is a quick video on best practices for telemarketing and appointment setting for commercial cleaning and janitorial services. And the big thing that we're going to go over with telemarketing and appointment setting, there's a big marketing tactic for the janitorial, the commercial side of setting appointments. And the big thing we're going to cover is it's not just about the script, it's also about your tone of voice and how quickly you speak. And there's all these details that you can practice to become much better at it. And that's what we're going to talk about real quick. My name is Shane Dubell. Our company is methodcleanbiz.com. We are a marketing agency for cleaning services, and you can visit our website, check out our pricing packages. We have tons of free resources up here, from downloads to online calculators. We're always trying to look for ways to help cleaners make a lot of money, because then they can hire us. So that is why we do these things. This is why we make videos and have free resources. So we're going to go over these best practices for telemarketing. And the big thing is, well, why would I want to do telemarketing in the first place? A big thing is cost effectiveness. Because you can reach just so many people and get information back. You're also making a personal connection with that person. It's not like an email. People can blow off an email. They can blow you off in the phone also, but you can leave a voicemail, and everybody listens to their voicemail. So you're still going to get an opportunity to either get your pitch across to them or get your message across to them that you want to schedule an appointment. This is a big thing with telemarketing for people to understand if they're newer to it, is you're not actually selling anything. You're trying to collect information and find out who the decision maker is, so then you can reach out to them in the future in a lot of other different ways. You can find them in LinkedIn, you can email them, you can stop by and ask for them. I mean, when you're stopping by a business, if you know who to ask for, that completely changes the game. Then, can I speak with the manager? So that these are the types of reasons why, and the advantage of telemarketing. Now, here are some key strategies. Developing the script. And this is a big thing that people are always looking for and they're always talking about. We have a sample script that probably has had 50,000 views over the years, maybe 80,000. So it's a pretty popular script. I would check it out. And we offer a free download, so you can customize it to your specific situation. But the script is the first part. The second part is training whoever the telemarketer is with product knowledge and the soft skills, which we are going to go over. The product knowledge is a big deal, though, because people ask all kinds of random questions when you're talking to them. And if they don't know the topic, it's going to make your company look bad that you're having this telemarketer trying to schedule an appointment for the salesperson, or usually a cleaning business owner. And if the person can't answer like simple questions, then that's going to put that prospect off, and they're just going to blow you off. So that's why training people on just basic stuff. They don't necessarily need to know the hyper technical details, but they need to know a general idea of the services and what you can do. A CRM of some kind, we provide one with our service. And as you are calling in telemarketing and trying to set appointments, the big thing is who's ever doing that should be updating your CRM then and doing follow-ups. So let's say I'm calling XYZ Corporation, and I find out that the decision maker is John Smith. I want to put that information in. If I'm able to talk to somebody and try to find out what their email address, then I can go on LinkedIn and see if they're on LinkedIn and message them there, and put all kinds of reminders to follow up with this person, maybe even send a sales letter, because now you know who you are. So this is a big deal with telemarketing, is using your CRM to keep track of everything and to remind you to follow up with people. And here is another download. We have words to avoid in a telemarketing script, because the big thing with the phone is there's no visual. So they're only going by your voice. They're only going by what they hear, what you say. So that's why we want to be very careful about what words to use when you're speaking with people. What are some ways that you can enhance effectiveness for appointment setting and for making the phone calls? One is optimizing the timing, and some of this will be how well you know the industry that you're calling. For instance, like a restaurant, well, I think it's pretty common sense for a restaurant not to be calling during lunch hour or their dinner hour or breakfast hour if that's what they do. So some of this will be common sense, thinking about the industry. I know in a lot of industrial type and even some professional offices, facility managers often start very early and work 7 to 3 shifts, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. shifts. Well, knowing that you would want to optimize that call to that person to call earlier. A lot of times I would call them at like 8 in the morning because the rest of the staff wasn't even there yet, and they were just hanging out in their office or walking around, and they would answer the call. That was a great time to call people like that, was before 9. But that wouldn't apply to everybody. Knowing who the person is you're calling, this is stuff you have to learn and you have to keep track of, because it's going to have a huge impact on if you actually speak with somebody. Follow-up strategies. You speak to somebody, find out who they are, ask them if any information and how they like information, because not everybody likes email. Not everybody wants a text message. That's why if you're actually talking to somebody, to actually just ask them what is the best way. Some people are big in social media and they'll say, hey, hit me up on LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn. So that we want to follow up on whatever is native to them, whatever they like. And some of this is demographics, and some of it is everybody has their different things they like. The next part would be training your telemarketer for handling objections. We have a whole section on how to overcome objections and listening to people and trying to listen to how they're talking and the types of things that they are saying. You can start to pick up on people that this conversation isn't going well, maybe that they're in a bad mood that day or something, and maybe it to call them back another time. Because when you're cold calling somebody, you could be interrupting them and they just found out their cat died or something. So, one thing I would tell you about objections is don't take them personal, because you never know what kind of day that person is happening. The big thing with the phone, get your point across quickly. You only have 30 seconds, and if they don't like what they hear in that first 30 seconds, they're going to get rid of you fast and furious. So what are some advanced techniques for telemarketing? It's personalization and having an understanding of that person's position or that industry. If it's industrial, professional offices, retail, hotels, they might all have different little details. And that's why having a long-term in-house employee has a huge benefit, because they're going to learn all this stuff and they're going to be able to plug in the right value proposition for the right industry. A big thing is going to be testimonials or other industry-specific examples. But this could also go not just industry, but local. So if you're focused on a town and you really want to dominate that town for commercial cleaning or commercial service, and you already have 100 customers, well, mentioning that early in the conversation would be great. Or if you focus on medical, you would want to tell them right away, right in the first 30 seconds, we specialize in medical, because that is going to draw them in. So that's why that is so important. Overcoming the challenges. And I was speaking earlier about non-visual. You're not seeing somebody. One of the big things I would do is, after you get off the phone with somebody, is try to get a visual on them so they can picture you in some way, shape, or form, whether it's a connection in social media, sending them an email, or mailing them a brochure, anything to get a visual on them, because that is going to greatly improve your results if you can get that visual so they can piece together in their mind who you are in that phone call. That's because otherwise they can't picture who you are. You could be some guy in Pakistan for all they know. So that's why we want to put a visual on them as soon as possible so they make that connection. And the next time that you call, they might answer and be very open to it. So these are some of the hyper-technical details to practice with your telemarketer or appointment setter, and that is your tone and your quality of the voice, the quality of the phone you're using. This is something you want to pay attention to. Pace and clarity. If you speak too quickly, then people are just going to blow you off. But at the same time, you don't want to speak too slowly, or they're going to be like, come on, get on with it, I'm busy. So these are things that you have to practice on. And the best thing to do is to record yourself, or whoever the person is, record themselves. So these are some ways to improve, is doing the exercises. And you, generally speaking, the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. And to do some simulations with them, some back and forth. So you have a telemarketer and you're the owner, you're going to go back and forth with them to practice so they can think on their feet, so they can respond to common questions. You're not going to be able to cover every question, but at least you can get the common questions so they can just effortlessly respond with a good answer. That's the goal of that. The feedback, paying attention to what people say. And if you are going out for estimates after these appointments, if you're the owner or the manager, I would ask people how they felt about that phone call, and if they say anything back to you. Maybe if you have any friends that own businesses, have your telemarketer call them so they can give you some honest feedback of how they felt about the conversation, and the pitch, and how quickly, the pace, and all that hyper technical details. And this is a quick assessment that you can go over with your cold caller, appointment setter, whatever you want to call them. And these are things to take into account: the speed and rate, the volume, making sure you're not too quiet or too loud, the clarity, and not slurring words, and make sure whatever words you're going to use. I stumble sometimes in these videos, to be honest with you, and that's just in the heat of the moment. You do stumble sometimes. That's normal for human beings. But if you keep practicing over and over again, you will eliminate that. You will mitigate that. So using a natural pitch that is for you or for that person, this is a big deal, because whenever you try to be somebody else, that usually doesn't work out. So you got to find that range that they normally use when they speak to people, and maybe just push it up a little bit. If they're a quiet talker, I think there was a Seinfeld episode, the quiet talkers, they might have to raise their voice slightly, but not excessively to where they're yelling, because that's going to completely change their pitch. And the tone, the friendly, enthusiastic, without going too far, because I've had people have called me that were so enthusiastic that it was obnoxious, And I immediately hung up. So there is a middle ground with all of these things. And the best way to do it is to practice, listen to it, and then be critical of yourself or critical of the telemarketer. You're not doing it to be a jerk or to berate somebody. You're trying to get them to be better, and that's the goal. And if you're looking to boost your cleaning business, you can add telemarketing to your digital marketing strategy. These things go together hand in hand, and they do not compete with each other. You want to have 4, 5, 6 different tactics to really grow and to really be profitable. My name is Shane Dubell, and our company is methodcleanbiz.com. Visit our website, schedule an estimate with me, and we'll find out if we can work something out.